I just picked up an amazing piece of technology that I think is going to change the game for any DIYer, especially if you're used to using those old-fashioned stud finders, which can be anything but accurate. This is the Wallabot DIY2. Let's give it a quick look. Setup really couldn't be easier, especially with that quick start guide. So it really is a quick process to get this thing out of the box and get started working right away. Let's do a few tests to see how this stud finder works. In this case, I want to test out 5 different types of material to see if it can recognize them. And for this test, we're going to be using an iron pipe, some plastic plumbing, a stud, some metal flashing, as well as some wiring. So let's first test this thing out on one of the most common things you might find in your wall, a standard 2x4. So I'll take our false wall, remove the back panel, and place our 2x4 inside that wall. Then with our wall reassembled and the back panel in position, we can turn our stud finder on and begin the calibration process. And as we place that Wallabot on the wall, you can see it quickly picks up that stud. And if we look at the very bottom, it even tells you exactly where that stud center is. But that's easy, right? Any stud finder can do that, but let's try something a little bit more difficult, like some electrical wire. And here you'll once again see that the Wallabot immediately picks up that wire. You'll also notice that the appearance of that wire is different than the stud we just took a look at, and it even labels it as pipe or wire. Since we're talking about pipe and wire, let's take a look at our next item, which is some metal pipe. And you can see that the Wallabot immediately picks up that pipe and labels it as pipe or wire right on the screen, immediately removing any possibility of a disaster by drilling directly into your plumbing. But these days, unless you live in an older house, that's not the type of plumbing that's running through your walls. Let's check out the next type of plumbing, which is the plastic plumbing. And to make this as realistic as possible, I filled both of these pipes up with water so that the tool could recognize the pipes. And just like before, the Wallabot immediately picks up those pipes and labels it right on the screen. The last type of material I'd like to check out with this tool is that metal flashing. This will give you a quick idea of what metal wire protectors or metal studs will look like behind your wall. And here you'll get a look at what that looks like. As we place the Wallabot over that metal flashing, you can see it reads out as a metal stud. So really, anytime you get that metal pipe wire readout, this should be a sign to you that this is a no-go situation for your drill. But I think we can all agree this thing's got some amazing technology, and this was a heck of a lot of fun to check out.